Hey guys, it's Bina, and we have now patch 1.2.5. I did not read the patch notes. It's 1 p.m. We're gonna go over them together and see what it's all about, get my initial reaction. So if you want to go through this with me, stay tuned. So the team is already aware of some issues that are visible in this patch. We are working to fix these issues as soon as possible. Minions and companions don't have portraits in the top left corner. Some loot filter UI issues showing the wrong number. These issues are purely visual. Okay, purely visual issues. Fix the bug where effects would recover a flat amount of remaining time from a skill's cooldown. We're recovering a percentage of the skill's cooldown if it had no source of increased cooldown recovery speed. Okay, wait, what is it? For example, if you triggered an effect which recovered 2 seconds from teleport cooldown, it would always recover 40% of its cooldown. Even if teleport's cooldown was reduced by 2 seconds by sources of increased cooldown recovery speed. Now, if teleport has a 2-second cooldown, that effect would recover 100% of the cooldown. Huh, so is this for like experimental affixes on the belt, for example? Fix the bug where Rive, when used with a two-handed weapon and shield, due to Forge Master's might, would use the two-handed visual effect rather than with this one-handed effect. Okay. Fix the bug causing raptors to be summoned above the companion limit. Again? Again, the companion limit stuff. When the number of available skill points from the summon raptor change, while also having summoned other companions. Fix the bug where the visuals for harvest would not scale in size. Fix the bug where acid flask traps created from source of a... Wait. Fix the bug where acid flask traps created from sources of extra projectiles would sometimes appear visually... visually be floating. Okay, only visual. Fix an issue with navigation that could lead players to getting stuck when using a Vade with the Flames of Midnight Ring equipped. Yes, this was kind of like, yeah. Made a number of changes related to Dive Bomb and the Birds Aren't Real node. Okay, wait. Is this gonna like nerf the Falconer build? Fix the bug with Dive Bomb where Shadow Falcons would use Featherfall, despite Featherfall explicitly stating Shadow Falcons would not use it. Fix the bug where the primary hit of Dive Bomb would not provide Stack of Dusk Shroud when both Flock of Crows and Birds Aren't Real were allocated. Fix the bug where Shadow Falcons from On Wings of Shadow would not provide stacks of Dusk Shrouds. Fix the bug, the Birds Aren't Real node have been slightly reworked. Previously, allocating Birds Aren't Real would cause Dive Bomb's damage to always scale with the player's stats. Now, allocating Birds Aren't Real will cause Dive Bomb's damage to scale with the Falcon stat if it is summoned, or the player stats if not. Wait, okay, let's just go take a look at this real quickly. I want to see what's up with this. If I go on here and I go onto this, and then I do this, Dive Bomb, Birds. Shadow Falcon takes your Falcon's place that uses Dive Bomb. Your Falcon is able to... Okay, so that's the Birds on Real, and then On Wings Shadow. Dive Bomb now creates Shadow Falcon. Okay, that's that. It's this node. Okay, I wonder if that's gonna like... Dive Bomb will no longer visually display the minion tag if Birds Aren't Real is allocated. There's no Summon Falcon. I wonder if that's gonna change the power of the build. I don't play that build, but I do not play that build, but we'll see. I am sure we're gonna hear about it if it did make if this was indeed a nerf to the build by fixing the bugs, but we'll see. Controller, quick move prompts for Nemesis Egg panel. Fix controller issues that would prevent users from interacting with the environment after killing Aberoth. Mono and Dungeon, fix chests in the Mono rest zone, not giving loot after quest echo. Okay, that happened to me. In the Woven Echo Tomb of Vessel, Majesta no longer dives into the sand at all, and summons the crystals though through a spell cast instead. Fix an issue where discovering tombs could autocomplete a location's objective. Okay. Fix a bug where Soulfire Bastion dungeon objective would appear twice on the minimap instead of once. Okay. UI bug. Fix an issue where loot filter numbers did not visually refresh when reordering them. Some causes of this issue still exist. Blah, blah. Okay. Fix the alignment of the loot filter in the loot filter settings. Fix some text input incorrectly, allowing rich text to be inputted. These locations should still accept the same text as before, but will display it as typed. Skill node respec caused by the loss of extra skill points would not trigger the red circle UI. Fix a bug where opening the Weaver tree while the social media was open caused those interfaces to overlap. Okay. Fix element icon text wrapping when it shows 999 plus stacks. Okay. Fix a visual bug where the environment decals could be applied on top of Herot. So all these like small visual bugs, video, blah, blah. Nothing very important here. Other. Fix a bug where the player could become immortal under certain conditions after pausing the game in offline mode. Okay, offline stuff. Fix a visual bug with Sentinel in the character selection screen where you could refresh the animation by re-clicking. Corrected a tier 1 cold cast speed roll range for the Invoker's Frozen Heart Reforge affix. Okay, so, okay. I mean, corrected the display range for the tier 7 less damage taken on block affix. Fix an issue where Majasa can incorrectly be targeted even after disappearing to the sand. To toggle hit VFX, visual and audio. So some little things here, nothing really crazy. Added VFX to element icon when you have more than 99 stacks. Ooh, nice. Fully sound to the void archivist enemy. Okay, monos. The open portal. Wait, change the sound effect for picking up memory amber again? Wait, they changed the sound again for memory amber. The open portal button now displays correctly when the overlay map is enabled in monos. Okay, that's fine. Added a corruption indicator to the bottom of the modifier list at the right side of the screen while in an echo. Huh, that's quite nice. We'll now be able to see the corruption you're in the echo. Updated echo tooltips to show the name of the echo so the player can see this on hover without needing to set. Oh, that's insane. That's insane. So yeah, that's a very good quality of life. Just hovering over the echo will show you what it is exactly. Decrease size of the reward exit room for tombs. Updated bonus stability text for better readability. UI and input. The forge no longer clears the modifier slot when removing an item if that item was only used with a Rune of Ascendance or Rune of Weaving. So does this mean that we can just have like Runes of Ascendance constantly in the forge and then just like shift right click on our items to go faster? I guess that's nice. Bizarre loot filters and stash tab rules now differentiate between different variants on uniques with the same name like Scales of Eterra or Pearls of the Swine. Nice. Added stash button to Bizarre listing panel. Added Bizarre tax text in the listing panel for better readability. Searching through abilities no longer causes a glowing visual highlighting certain abilities to be unsynced. Reverse the scroll direction for stash tabs and categories to match how tabs typically scroll in most applications. Scrolling up moves towards the first tab. Scrolling down moves towards the last tab. Stash searches that were automatically set by a crafting UI are now automatically cleared when closing the stash. Players should no longer be able to accidentally reopen the Nemesis choice window after choosing an option. Okay, that's good. That was happening to me all the time. Improved controller navigation, Nemesis panel, controller. Reduce game hitches when opening the... Okay. Reduce game hitches when opening the MTX store. Well, not only with a controller, even for me on PC. Reduce game hitches that occurred due to loot showers. Insane. Improve performance when opening stash panels. Hopefully these are actually giga. Improve asset preloading on server and client. Okay. So overall, not like, I think the biggest thing is the dive bomb changes. So we'll have to see for dive bomb players to wait and see if this affects anything on the build. Probably Lizard will talk about it if it does affect it. For the rest, I think most of it is like kind of nothing big actually changed. Lots of quality of life stuff again. Some small small improvement across the board. VFX, like loot, sound. less lag when opening your stash, when opening your menus and stuff like that. So overall, good patch, nothing huge except for dive bomb, and that's pretty much it. So there wasn't anything crazy for me personally on this patch, but I'm still having a lot of fun in Last Epoch, and I see you guys all in the next video, I guess.